A new VW is here. Golf, the Volkswagen Compact. A lot of power, a lot of space, a lot of fun.
Welcome to the third video on how did I get myself into this mess, otherwise known as the Golf GTI MK1 for the 80s group build at the Wheel and Sprue Discord. In the previous videos we covered all the steps to get the body prepped, primed, painted and clear coated. In the process we also witnessed how I failed in various points, until I managed to get a really nice shine by wet sanding and compound clearing the surface. I'm now left with the engine and the interiors, and I'm going to start with the engine as I'm going to attempt at super detailing it. Well, at least until I have enough of that. Most of what I'll talk about is going to be very technical. I'll try to do my very best at simplifying things as much as possible, but I found out it gives purpose knowing what I'm looking at, which part is connected to what, and so on, so I can have a rough understanding on what the kit is missing and what are the best materials to fill in those gaps. I spent some time researching pictures for this engine and sift out all the crazy upgrades and engine swaps that people have done over these past 40 plus years. And one thing that was clearly noticeable is that the stock engine, both the 1.3 and the 1.6 liters, doesn't look clean or tidy by any means. There are cables and hoses crisscrossing the engine bay everywhere. Before getting into these details, let me show you what does this kit come with, so you have an idea of what I'm building on. So far we have the engine block, the distribution belt as a single component, the downpipe, exhaust and inlet manifold, the battery, the radiator, the servo brake and the master brake cylinder, a few pipes that are usually visible only from underside the car, the washer liquid tank. If you look at a picture of any MK1 engine bay, at a glance the things that are most noticeable are definitely all the hosing for the water cooling, which are the closest to the front of the engine bay, and the smaller cables that provide power and fuel to the engine itself. None of this is available in this kit, so it's a good opportunity for me to get my hands dirty and try to put something together from scratch. Let's start with the water cooling. While the kit provides the connection from the water pump to the radiator, that's all it has, and the position for the coolant intake manifold to the engine is for the 1.6 liter engine. I will instead go for the later 1.8 liter, as it's the one I found most references online, and hopefully make things a little bit more interesting. This means I will have to scratch build the water intake to the engine in the new position, and then the new water pump with the ability to connect two pipes. As a consequence, I will also have to move the oil filter to gain more space for the additional pipes. I have scratch built the spark plugs with the respective cabling, with a 0.8 plastic rod and a plastic coated wire, and dug the holes on the engine block where they should be inserted. I will need to carefully manually bend into shape each single one of these cables and glue their extremities to the distributor. As it is so small, I likely won't be able to drill its cap, as I usually would.
For now, I will start by putting in the various injectors, spark plugs system with cable. Whew. Let them fly into the sky. Glue them in place. Nice. And that's done. And I'm gonna wait a little bit and then start painting stuff. Okay, a little bit more progress done, which means that now I have mounted all the gears for the timing belt. Yeah, all the gears, they are mostly aligned, so I will need to do a little bit more work. I got the bottom piping here sorted. I have the top piping sorted, attached the tubes with super glue. I'm very satisfied so far. It's a hell of a piece of work. I also have the distributor and the oil filter that goes attached there. So very soon I will put those together, finish the piping on this piping, yeah, and I think that should be it. I think the only thing is going to be left is going to be the timing belt and connect to all the spark plug cables. This should be finishing the cabling. I have the cover sorted and ready to go. Once this is done, I think this is pretty much about it. I can look into the engine bay. Wow. I will need to paint a couple of things in black on the tray. Start adding a bunch of cabling inside, because also once it's done, there's a few more cables that I need to put. So far, so good.
Now that I have painted the injectors and assembled all the remaining parts that I just listed, I have bent all the wires coming from the injectors into shape, and they just need to be glued into place on the distributor cap. As I was saying, it is too small, and it will be very risky if I try to drill holes for the wires without performing any magic. Since I have completely taken apart the belt drive system, I now need to create a new belt from scratch, and based on some works I've seen online, I have decided to use some masking tape. painted with a black market and wrapped around the cogs. Ideally, they should give a bit more realistic look. As you will see, fixing into place wasn't as easy as I expected using superglue, but aside from that, this is another small step for this project.
What's the progress so far? So I managed to get all the pipes that I wanted on this. Specifically, I have, let's see, so I have the um, water pump sorted. I have created the pipe for the input in this way. So I have CA glued a pin so I can slot it in and making sure that this goes all right. I will likely attach to that because now it's all together. I cannot create holes and stuff like that, so which is fine. I have all of them, all the spark plugs sorted out, but there's one that is a bit loose, but it's gonna be fine. I can reattach that. This is all good. I will have to drill. There is one thing that I want to do. In all the pictures you probably can see on these engines, one thing that sticks out aside from the mess that this engine looks like. It's really difficult, I think, to make it tidy to the point that some people actually just like replace the engine. Anyway, so the most important parts are going to be spark plugs and the fuel injectors. So how does a fuel injector looks like? Well, I'll try to put something on screen, but what is going to be more important here is that there are going to be two main things. One is going to be so the air intake manifold, which is this thing, which is gonna go like this. And this is gonna be quite straightforward. There's a couple of cables that go inside here, which I could attach. I do not know how because there's still to be determined that. I have these parts that ideally should have two lines that fit in. That's going to be fine. The other bit, and that's one. This, the air intake is placed on top of this, where there is the fuel line distributor or something like that. I would like to say that this might be very interesting, and I think I have the type of cables that, because it's braided lines, the size is perfect for this. So I'm gonna try to carve a couple. This is a 0.5. I have the already drill there. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. There should be 5 because the 2 that are sticking, coming out like this, are going to the engine, I think, as a sensors, fuel sensor. I am supposing this because the only engine that I've seen for the MK1 is in a picture and in this. So I hope this makes sense, and let's get it going and see where I'm getting with this. I'm very curious to see what I come up with.
I have drilled all the holes I want the fuel lines to end into the air inlet manifold. Next, I will need to understand how to attach the various lines to the fuel distributor. Since I noticed that there is no way for me to insert them perpendicularly, I will have to rig-a-majig some pins large enough so they can host the lines. So I'll start by drilling the holes for the pins first. And it might be easier actually to just show you. Now that you can see how the line will be attached to the pin, I decided to drill all the 5 holes I need before anything. It will be too difficult to drill the holes once I have it chopped it up into tiny bits.
Oh, this doesn't look too bad. Huh? We still have the hole here for one other cable that goes around and around and around. Sticks out like that. Thing. Cool, this works.
Here, you can see the kit is missing something else. The expansion tank.
No!
And this is very weird to me, as there is a slot specifically built for holding it in place. I am completely without words, but at the same time, I cannot say that I am surprised of the quality of this Revel kit. So, time to brush off some wax carving skills and make the part out of nothing. There is only one thing left that still needs to be prepped before final assembly: the battery. And what's a battery without cables going in and out of it? This is perhaps a small treat for myself. Easy enough to do, but with some visual appeal for whoever peeks under the bonnet of this model.
Everything is ready for assembly. So just a quick recap. I have the power brake thingy. I have the fuel distributor. These are just like temporarily set. Just want to make sure that these are working, set in the right position. The radiator, both radiators are done with all the piping ready to be installed. We have this additional pipe that goes from, again, the radiator, no, from somewhere else. I don't remember. No, I think it is from the fuel distribution system. Cool. We have the battery sorted out as well, with the cabling coming out of it. I have the brand new and painted water expansion tank, and then I have the washer fluid already connected. The line, the fluid line is there. It's all good. It works as we want. That's done.